Who is Pastor?
Wow.
You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing? God bless you. This is just a quick one. Throughout since the early hours of yesterday up until this point in time, it is actually 2:46 a.m. here. It has been going around that the second son of Bishop David Oyedepo, Isaac, who was recently appointed as the global youth pastor of the Living Faith Church worldwide, resigned to start up his own ministry. He said, "My God-given mandate is to reclaim a generation and to ensure that this generation sees the fire of God revival in our generation." He is the second son of Bishop David Oyedepo. Now, I started seeing this information and I'm going to read some of the headlines, out to you here, starting with Legit. Legit titled it, "Just in, Bishop Oyedepo's son resigns from Winners Chapel to begin his own church. Details emerge." PM News, Oyedepo's son Isaac dumps Living Faith to start new ministry. Daily Post, Bishop Oyedepo's son Isaac dumps Living Faith to start new church. Last but not the least, Linda Ikeji's blog, Oyedepo's son leaves Living Faith Church to start his own ministry. Now I'm going to read a little out of this. Pastor Isaac Oyedepo, the second son of the founder of Living Faith Church Worldwide, aka Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, has resigned from his position as National Youth Pastor of the Youth Alive Fellowship, YAF, the youth arm of the church. This was disclosed by Church Gist, a platform owned by Pastor Leke B. Croft, one of the pastoral assistants at the church's headquarters in Ota. Just last month, September 2023, Isaac was announced as the National Youth Pastor of YAF, taking over from Pastor David Nwabueze, who was transferred to Nasarawa State. Isaac is said to be planning to begin a new ministry independent of the Living Faith Church. He was ordained as a Living Faith Church pastor by American preacher Kenneth Copeland in May 2007. In a recent interview, he said his purpose in life was to reclaim a generation and to ensure that this generation sees the fire of God's revival in our generation. Isaac pastored the Winners Chapel International in South Africa, Maryland, USA, and Lokogoma, Abuja, before he was redeployed to the headquarters in Ota, Ogun State. Now, the alleged interview that he gave, which was actually titled that, which everybody is quoting. Let me also read from Daily Post before we go to the very interview that he gave to Church Gist. Bishop Oyedepo's son Isaac dumps Living Faith to start new church. Pastor Isaac Oyedepo, one of the sons of Bishop David Oyedepo, founder of the Living Faith Church, aka Winners Chapel, has resigned. Isaac, who was recently appointed as the global youth pastor of the Living Faith Church Worldwide, resigned to start up his own ministry. He said, "My God-given mandate is to reclaim a generation and to ensure that this generation sees the fire of God revival in our generation." He is the second son of Bishop David Oyedepo. He and his elder brother David Jr. were ordained as pastors in May 2007 by Kenneth Copeland. He is a graduate of Oral Roberts University and has served as the resident pastor of the Living Faith Church International, Maryland, USA, since October 2018. Isaac is married to Ayomitide Oyedepo, and their union is blessed with 4 children. Now, the very interview, the very video that everybody is actually linking to, as per the interview that he gave, or that which gave rise to the resignation. I'm going to play the video to you. And the video actually didn't say anything about him resigning, but the title of the video, says thus. And this is the video here.
Who is Pastor Isaac?
Wow. Well, Isaac Oyedepo is the person, not the pastor. So first of all, I'd want to say I'm a child of God. I think that's where I want to start before being called of God. First, a child. Secondly, a youth. I don't see this as a discussion for a generation, but my generation. So I'm a youth in every way. but also one that strongly believes in the assignment that God has given to me to reclaim a generation and to ensure that this generation ends up seeing the fire of God, revival in our generation. And so I would also say a learner. The one that doesn't learn every day is slowly dying. And so I see myself as a keen observer, one that wants to know why things are done the way they are done and to keep improving that. I think in a nutshell, that is who you ask me who I am.
So, well, anyway, it is not bad, but I'm sure that we've not heard the last of this from the press. Everybody will begin to cook up what they think is the reason behind his resignation. Everybody will begin to come with 1 + 1 and 2 + 2 to actually arrive at the proper reasons why he resigned. But if you ask me, it is not bad. If God has called him, I think it is even more noble for him to start on a very fresh template to prove that the Lord had called him. Now we all have been asking if church has become a family business, because I'm so sure that I've seen some comments where people were asking if David Oyedepo was not planning to hand over to his children, why did he make his son the youth pastor? And now we have even noticed or read here now that it was just recent that he was made the youth pastor, and that has not even lasted up to 2 months or thereabout, and he has just resigned to start his own ministry. So if you ask me, I think it is noble. It is in a very good ground for him to prove that the Lord has called him into ministry. If God has called him to ministry, this is how to prove it. This is how to begin. And if ever, at the end of the day, note that nobody is saying that it is a taboo to hand over to a son. But the process must be that everybody will be sure that God has said so. Not that a father or a family will be so anxious and will be so committed to the fact that they don't want the church leadership to leave the family because it was the father that founded the ministry. Like somebody was saying the other time that Jimmy's father paid the price, and so it was not wrong for Jimmy to inherit the ministry. Now, when you talk like that, you are talking like it's a business. His father didn't pay the price. Jesus paid the price. All right? Jesus paid the price. What his father gave was a service. As a minister, he was a servant, and he finished his course. He finished his course and ran his race. And at the end of the day, he goes to give account to his master. Now, it should have been, the honor should have been given unto the Lord. I'm not particularly about Jimmy and what have you now. The honor should have been given to the Lord. The honor should be given to the Lord to appoint who succeeds this servant that is retiring or that has gone home, whichever. All right. May God give you understanding. We have this kind of a scenario within the apostolic. I mean, in the apostolic, within the apostles, when Judas Iscariot, betrayed Jesus and died. After the resurrection, when the church began proper, the apostles sought for a person to take the place of Judas, and actually quoted prophetically where the statement was made, his bishop, prelate, another take. And the Bible said they casted lots, and Matthias was chosen. So Matthias was used to replace Judas Iscariot. And nobody heard about Brother Matthias after that. But when Jesus made his own choice in the person of Saul, that became Paul. Now, see the difference. So, man's choice will always be man's choice, but God is always ahead of us in all areas of life. So for me, it is a very good development. It is a welcome development. It is an opportunity, a pedestal for him to stand, to prove, as he has said in that interview, that the Lord called him. He said, first and foremost, he is a child of God before becoming a called of God. And that is actually the process that he should be, not because he's a child of a pastor and so he must take over from his pastor father, but he, first and foremost, is a child of God that has been called of God. And now that he has left, his father's ministry to start up something new, that is where and how it will be proven. Now understand that crowd is not a proof that God has called somebody, because this is where the present day, modern day Christians or churchgoers have missed it. The crowd is not a sign that God has called a person. May the Lord give you understanding in Jesus' name. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I'll be coming again in the next video. Till then, I want to ask you, please like the video, share, and give us your subscription if you have not done so. May the good Lord preserve you. Till I come your way again in the next video, I remain your brother in the Lord, and from me to you, Shalom.